Hi everyone, this is Ida of Created to Create. Welcome back to my channel. If you are not 18 years or older, this video content is not intended for you. Please stop watching now. Guys, I wanted to share with y'all how I created the awning for the flower cart, the 3D flower cart. Did have a lot of questions, so I'm going to show you how I created the awning and the box and how I got the measurements. I like to explain things because I'm one of those people that goes, but how did you get that? But why? So I'm going to try and do that for you because I like to understand. I like to understand. So to start off with, I found a circle die that measured as close to 3 inches as possible. This one's 3¼ inches. And I cut 2 circles. If you only are going to line your awning on the outside, you only need one, but make sure that it's a heavyweight paper. I want to try and line the inside and out so it looks as nice on the inside as on the outside. So I cut 2 circles, and what I did to that, I cut them in half. After you cut them in half, make sure that they are exactly the same, that they line up exactly the same. So here are my 4 circles already cut out. And then you're going to need if you're using a circle that measures 3¼ inches, these measurements will work for you. But if you're using a circle that is smaller, you're going to have to figure out what size of paper you're going to need. The way I figured out, from here to here, you can either use a seamstress measuring tape that bends or a bendable ruler, or you can just actually line it up at the end. I hope you can see what I'm doing at the edge of the paper, and just be very careful and roll it all the way to the end, and give yourself a little mark with a pencil. That way you know where to cut. That's how you can get if you're using a different size circle. Okay, in my case, the flower cart, the awning has to be 4 inches long, which is from here to here. Then I need an extra 1/2 inch on either side to be able to attach the half circles. So my piece ended up being a 5 by 5 inch. 5 by 5 inches. Okay, what I'm going to do first, I'm going to score at 1/2 inch. I'm going to turn it around, and I'm going to score again at 1/2 inch. And this is going to be where the circles, the half circles, are going to attach. This side right here is going to be where the side, the canopy is going to be attached to the flower cart panels. So it's going to be attached there. So here, I only want to do 1/4 inch. So score at 1/4 inch. I like to put a little bend there so it can glue nicely to the sides of the flower cart. So I'm just doing 1/4 inch there. So that's all we need the scoreboard for right now. And go ahead and bend on those score lines. Remember the 1/2 inch ones. You don't have to burnish the sides too much because we're really going to curve that. We're going to curve this. This is going to be the canopy part. So, and these are going to be glued to the side. So here on this one, let me find some smaller scissors. What I want you to do on the 1/2 inch mark, you can cut off this tab right here. Well, actually, you don't even have to cut it out. You can leave it there. I want you to make little V cuts or little notches. The whole, don't go past the score line, but the whole side length of your piece where you're cutting, from end to end. Go ahead and cut those little notches. And you're going to do that on both sides. I'm going to try to do this fast because my phone stops recording at a certain amount of time, and then it starts recording again, but I don't know when it does it. So let's hopefully get this done before it does something like that. So you're going to do this on one side, and then we're going to turn it to the other, and we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to cut out little notches pretty close together. You can see what I'm doing. They're actually pretty close together. And you're going to do that all the way to the end on the 1/2 inch little area that we scored, the 1/2 inch score mark line. Now, me personally, I prefer an arch die because I think that shape is better. But I don't have any arch dies, and that's definitely something I'm going to add to my collection. I guess I've never had a use for it until now. So there it is. That's how you create. This piece is your canopy. Now all you have to do, you want to try and curve it. You want it to curve because this is going to be your canopy. You can mist it with water and wrap it around some type of bottle, you know, to try and get it to curve, because this is going to be a canopy. It's still going to curve because we're going to glue it to this. So I'm just going to use score tape, guys, but I recommend to use maybe a thin score tape and then some glue. But for the sake of this video, I'm just going to use score tape, and I'm going to run it from end to end on either side of the piece of paper where we made those notches. And because this is going to be faster, that's why I'm using score tape. Okay, so remove the backing on the score tape, the carrier, and you're going to get your 1/2 circle, and you're going to, you can bend all this down. Start here at the end. You want to glue it. And you're going to follow the curve of the circle. So you're going to be turning, come on. I needed to apply a little bit of pressure. So as I'm turning this, I'm applying pressure. And it's going to take the shape of this 1/2 circle. And you're going to keep going until you get all the way to the end. And I'm doing it quickly, like I said, for the sake of the video, but make sure you take your time on yours. See, now I can see that I did leave it a little long, but I'd rather it be a little long than too short. But quite truthfully, let me see if I can take it off. Nope. Quite truthfully, see, I didn't line up there. It's not straight right there. Make sure when you start that this corner is lined up right there, because I'm going to have to trim that because of that, unless I can take it off. Let's see. Maybe I can take it off. Let's try it. Oh, yeah. Coming. I might need to add another strip of tape, but I'd rather do it right. I'd rather show you the right way to do it instead of the wrong way to do it. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to open this back up, and I'm going to add more score tape to it. I was going to reach up here where I keep my phone, because normally that's where I hang my rolls of tape. But the phone was there instead of my tape. Okay, I'm going to take my time this time, guys, because I want for it to be right. And normally I'm not doing it for video, so, you know, I take my time. So make sure that the edge right here is lined up with the edge right there. And hold it a second. I got to hold it a second. And now slowly, Ida, I'm going to line these up and hold them. That looks a little bit better. I still don't like the way this looks right here. Let me move it some more. And just follow that the curve on here as you're gluing your tabs down. Make sure they're following. So the closer you do your notches, the easier this is going to bend for you. You see the canopy coming together now. And now we're almost to the end. And again, I still have that little piece left over there, which I can go back and trim. But there's one side of the canopy, and let's do the other. Like, this is real simple, guys. But if you had an arch, I think it would be better. Let's see, some of these have score marks in them. I'm trying to use the best ones on the outside. Again, I'm going to bend these down, line this up. Right there at the score mark. And then take your time. Take your time following that curve and gluing all these down. And the closer your notches are, the easier it's going to be for you to do this. And we're almost to the end. Yeah, this one's a lot neater than the other one. So there is our canopy. There's the inside of the canopy, and there's the outside. I know this is sticking out right now, but when you glue it to your to the sides of your die cuts, it's going to stay curved like this. It's not going to do anything funny. So now, if you want the inside to look really, really clean, then you would take this piece right here and glue it to the inside, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take it and glue it to the inside. That way you don't see all those tabs that we just did. And that gives it a more finished look. And this should fit just about right. You might have to trim a little bit off, but not much. There it goes. See how nice and finished it looks on the inside. I do have a little piece sticking out here, and all I will do is just take my scissors and trim that off. And now it looks nice on the inside and on the outside, and we're going to repeat the same thing on the opposite side. Now the paper I'm using is kind of thin, so you might want to use a thicker paper, because I'm just, like I said, demonstrating, and then I'm going to throw it away. I'm not even going to do anything with it. So that's why I'm using just scraps that I had. Again, I'm going to take this and I'm going to position it on the inside, lining it up to the edge right there. I have a little piece sticking out right here that I'm going to trim off. So there is your canopy. I know this doesn't look real smooth or anything, but like I said, it's thin paper. I'm just showing you the technique. I'm not making one to put together. I just want to show you how to do it, but you can take your time when you're shaping, when you're rounding your paper. That way yours will come out perfect. And then to add the paper, then you would measure from here to here, and you already know that this was 5 inches and this is 4 inches. So you would need a 4 by 5 strip of paper to line this. To do the sides, you can use either the same size circle or go down one and you can have an edge if that's what you want, or you can use the same size that you used to do the half circle and then put a decorative paper there. So there is the canopy, and I'm going to show you how that would work. I guess if I had done mine that way, it would have been better, because at least they would have been the same, right? So you take 2 of these and you would glue this. You would add right here where we put the score mark, you would add score tape. If I was you and I'm using a particular spot where I'm going to line this up, I would actually put a pencil mark and mark both pieces the same. That way it would be the same height. And you would put score tape on this, and then you would glue it to the side. Let me turn it around. I will add score tape to there, and I would glue it to either side. I would center it and glue it there. See how the canopy is in the middle? That's how I created mine. I glued one to this side, and then I took another one. And remember, if you want it to be gold on the opposite side and your paper is white on one side and gold on the other, you would have to cut on the white side. That way the outside that would be shown would be the gold, because there is not a left and a right to this. There's only one side. And you would add score tape to this score mark, and then you would glue this one. Let me see if I can hold it better. You would add score tape to that one, and you would glue it together like that. And there would be your canopy. Now, the same distance that you have between here and here is the same distance you would need for your box. Trust me when I tell you that this is easier to put together when you have your box made. So for the box, if you're using the same size circle that I use, which is 3 1/4 inch, the measurements that you need to make the box would be 3 3/4 by 5 1/2. 3 3/4 by 5 1/2. And you would score your paper and use strong paper. You would score your paper at 3/4 of an inch all the way around. And this is going to give you 3 inches wide and 4 inches long with a 3/4 of an inch depth to your box. So I scored it all the way around at 3/4 of an inch. Like seriously guys, this is like really, really simple. Fold where you scored it. And when you score your paper, it looks like I didn't score it all the way through. When you fold your paper after you've scored it, you always fold towards the bump, which is the bottom of the paper. This was laid like this, and I scored all the way around. Means I have a bump at the bottom. That's the direction you fold your paper. Now, to create the box, all I did was just cut straight on the score line, and then I cut a little wedge out. I'm gonna cut straight on the score line, and then on the little tab, I'm gonna take off a little piece. I'm gonna do that on the opposite end as well. Take off a little piece. Do the same here. Take off that little piece. And you can take off a little piece here too if you'd like. It might be better actually, but you don't have to. So just up to the score line, you do not go past the score line. So there is our you could say box. Again, I'm going to use score tape just for the sake of the video, and I'm going to add tape to those little tabs. I would use a combination of tape and glue if I were creating this for real and not just for a tutorial. I would actually do the score tape, then I would add glue, and I will show you what I mean by that. My nail broke and it's hard for me to take the tape off. So even though I have score tape is a temporary hold, and then when it gives the glue enough time to set. So I'm adding glue with score tape. So you're just going to fold this in, fold the tab in, Make sure you're lined up at the corners. Do the same thing here. Make sure you're lined up at the corners. The score tape will hold it for now. And then by the time if the tape ever lets loose, by then the glue will already be set and it won't come undone. So that's why I use both. One to hold it while I'm working on it really, really quick where I don't have to wait. And one there's the other. I feel like I'm off right here. So there's my little box, and that's this box, this portion. So this box and this canopy should be the same width. See how they're the same? That's what you want them to be. So I would take the sides of my die cuts. I would glue my box there. On one side, I wish I had clips. Let me see if I can find clips or something. Yeah. So I would glue my box right there. I'm going to put it down. I would glue my box right there. And then I would take my other die cut and I would do the same thing. I will glue my box right there. See how the box does not stick out either on the front or on the back? That's what you want it to do. So that would be the box or the tray or the cart part to my flower cart. And then the canopy would be glued in between these two layers right there. And see how it doesn't show on the sides? You want to line it up in between that canopy part where it doesn't show. But that would be the whole cart right there, guys. That is all that I had to share with you today. I hope that you understood what I was doing. If you use a 3 1/4 inch circle like I did, the measurements I gave you should work. And then you just decorate it. You want to decorate your canopy or your awning before you glue it to your die cuts, to your flower cart, because then you're not going to have room to get in there and cover the canopy. But that's all. That's how you do that. It was very, very simple to put together. But unlike me, take your time doing this portion. That way everything comes out good. And then take your time putting the box together and use heavyweight paper. Not so much on the canopy, because on the canopy, you're going to add another layer of paper and it's going to be strong. And if you use a thinner paper, you can curve it better. But on the sides, make sure you use a heavy duty one, because this side is what holds the shape of the canopy together. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. That's all I wanted to share with y'all today. I hope that it helps you. If you have any questions, that just ask, and if I can answer them, I will answer them. Thanks for watching. Bye.